Hello everyone, and welcome to the Kyocera Product Show.
Today, we'll be discussing with you product positioning and strategy for our four newest black and white MFPs, the ECOSYS MA6000ifx series.
These devices are a continuation of Kyocera's A4 line of dependable workhorse devices. We have the MA4500iX and 4500ifx at 47 pages per minute, the 5500ifx at 57 pages per minute, and 6000ifx at 62 pages per minute.
These successors to the ECOSYS M3860 IDN series are built to support remote working. Today, we'll speak to you about how they can make your customers more productive and more secure in hybrid work environments.
We'll also take a look at how the devices integrate with Kyocera's print management solutions. Using these solutions will help your customers save time, money, and resources.
Our show will follow a similar format to the PA6000X series product show from January. We'll spend 20 minutes or so, maybe just a little longer, to discuss these products, give you an overview of their key features, along with an elevator pitch.
I don't know about you, Robbie, but I'm ready to dive in.
Right there with you, Adam.
Let's begin. Now we're going to walk you through some of the new features and benefits of the MA6000ifx series. So Robbie, how has the world of work changed since we first introduced the ECOSYS M3860 IDN series?
I think we're faced with new expectations. Think about folks working from home, the remote work environment. That's expected nowadays. You have to have that. In that same regard, if you're going to be working from home, we need to evaluate productivity. Make sure that whether you're in the corporate office or the home office, you have those same capabilities to accomplish your task.
Yeah, we talk about productivity a lot. So how are customers defining it in 2023? And more importantly, what are they really looking for in the device?
I think if we look at those, we have to look at workflow efficiency. Again, if I'm working from home or the corporate office, I need to have that same level of efficiency available to me. We have to look at connectivity. Can I connect these devices in either of these locations? What options are available for that? And then, especially for our partners, being able to manage the devices. If this is going to be located somewhere else other than a corporate office, are we available or do we have the capability to remotely manage it, provide firmware updates, toner supply, things like that?
So efficiency, connectivity, and remote management. That's a very nice way to break it down.
So with that in mind, maybe you can walk us through some of the ways this new series is going to address some of those concerns we were speaking about. What new enhancements, what new features are we going to have available for folks?
Absolutely. So from an efficiency standpoint, we're pleased to introduce a simple, intuitive, and efficient user interface that comes with a 7-inch color touchscreen display.
That's one of my personal favorites about this series is the A3 devices, the new interface we introduced with the Evolution series. You're now going to have that same operation panel on the A4 series coming out.
It's a great addition. And on top of that, we should take a moment to talk about some of the new printing and scanning capabilities that we offer. So from a printing standpoint, we've now partnered this device with a new, faster print controller that's going to optimize the PDF print performance and provide crisp black and white output.
So print controller. That's just a fancy word for the processor, right?
Basically.
Okay.
So when it comes to these new devices, they have to build that technology in to create these necessary enhancements.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So when it comes to the scanning capabilities too, we're pleased to introduce and transfer over from our A3 devices. The ID card copy feature that's always been there is now going to be on our A4 platform. And I think we might even see a demo of that shortly.
That's going to be exciting.
For sure. And lastly, when we talk about some of the expanded memory options, with the first series, you had the 1 gigabyte standard to 3 gigabyte maximum.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're offering 1.5 gigabyte standard to 3.5 gigabytes maximum, which is great because with all of these enhancements, it's allowing customers to store more jobs on the devices.
Memory or RAM, folks ask me about that sometimes. Think about it like your computer, your laptop, right? If I've got 8 gigabytes of RAM, I can do a little bit. If I've got 16 or 32, my computer can process those things faster. It can think about it quicker. Same concept here with the MFPs.
Well said. Now let's go check out that demo.
Sounds like a plan.
Now's the time to take you through our new user interface and our enhanced scanning capabilities. Robbie, why don't you take it away?
So users may notice this looks similar in design to its predecessor, but I think internally we've already emphasized some of the things you're going to see different. Now, in this particular area, we've removed the hard keys for the numeric pad. It's a virtual keypad now.
Excellent.
Obviously, it's white. That's a little bit of a difference. Looking at the user interface specifically, it carries down from its big brother, the A3 Evolution series. Very similar icons, the color scheme, larger graphics. If I were to touch the copy icon, now I've got the same ability to scroll through the interface with my finger.
Wow.
If I come to an option that I want to enable, just a swipe to turn it on, swipe to turn it off. I don't have multiple prompts that I have to navigate through. It goes back to that efficiency. It's just easier, quicker to move through now.
Right.
I'll go back to the home screen. We wanted to show the ID card copy because that's one of those scanning enhancements. So Adam, you would open up the document processor for me?
For sure.
I always use a hotel key card when I do this demo. I used my driver's license once and I had an unfortunate experience when I got to the airport. So I'm going to drop this on the glass. I'm not going to place it in the corner of the platen, anything like that. If you'd close it for me.
Of course.
Thank you, sir. I'll go ahead and launch the feature, a favorite icon preloaded on the device. I'm going to press start. It's going to capture the first side of my hotel key card. And go ahead and open that up. I'm going to pick it up. And again, I'm just going to drop it. We're going to capture the second side. And if everything goes according to plan, we're going to have a page output. It's going to line that up, center it, square it off on the page for me. Let's see what we got.
I'd say that's pretty darn good, Robbie. Look at that.
Nailed it. How about that? So just like the A3 Evolution series devices now with that enhanced ID card copy function, users can enjoy that on an A4 desktop device as well.
What a great feature.
This series really has the efficiency covered. What about connectivity? That's one of the items we're highlighting. Speak to me about what's new or maybe what's enhanced for this series in terms of connectivity.
Absolutely. So we have two new optional Wi-Fi capabilities. We have our IB37 and our IB38. The IB37 is awesome because it allows for multi-band Wi-Fi connectivity, which means you can have anywhere from 2.4 gigahertz all the way up to 5 gigahertz of Wi-Fi. On top of that, the IB38 is great for those customers that only need the 2.4 gigahertz. I would like to caution you, though, about the existing legacy IB51. For those customers that are looking for either high-pass enabled devices or Kyocera Fleet Services ready devices, the IB51 is not for you.
Yeah, if we keep with our theme of connectivity, efficiency, working from home, having the devices in that type of environment, what I call the IB3 series, we have a IB36 for some of the legacy devices, now the IB37, IB38. I think all those are superb because they tie in the high-pass applications along with Kyocera Fleet Services. So it really brings that collective together for us.
And again, talking about the applications and using those great examples, what are some things that you've seen in the field that you can share with us today?
You know, one of the things that I find folks don't know about or have a misunderstanding about perhaps are the wireless cards. When you add one of those to the device, it's not disabling any functionality. So for example, this device today, we've got it connected over Ethernet, the hardwire cable, into the corporate network. If we had the IB37 or IB38 incorporated also, in addition to the corporate network, the physical plug-in, we could have it connected to one of the Wi-Fi networks. We could even have it act as its own hotspot with Wi-Fi Direct. So if a guest, let's say someone came in visiting headquarters, they needed to print something, obviously because of security protocols, we're not going to let them on the corporate network, but we could allow them to connect directly to the device over Wi-Fi Direct, use the mobile print app or Apple AirPrint or Mopria if they've got an Android phone, because the devices support all those different protocols. So with connectivity, I think we've covered those really well. We've talked about those different options. It gives us an opportunity to kind of segue that topic now into integrations. Speak to me more about that. What type of new integrations are available?
Absolutely. So when it comes down to integration, all four of these devices are high-pass capable.
Hold on. Let's go back to basics here for a second on some things. High pass. What does high pass stand for?
Hybrid Platform for Advanced Solutions.
The tongue twister. Hybrid Platform for Advanced Solutions. How do I know if a device is high pass capable or high pass ready?
That's a great question. When you look at the name of the product, like the ECOSYS MA6000ifx, The letter I in the name will tell you that it's a high-pass capable device.
I for intelligence. Got it.
Yes, sir. Well said. So the great thing about high-pass is that it means that your MFP is more than just a printer and a copier. It allows you to integrate different types of firmware and even solutions. Some of the firmware that you can integrate is MyPanel, Mobile Print, or even Kyocera Fleet Services. And some of the high-pass capable devices include KCPS, DM Connect, and even Pinpoint Scan.
KCPS, what does that stand for?
Kyocera Cloud Print and Scan.
Okay, I know sometimes we get carried away with our acronyms internally, so make sure our audience at home understands them as well. You list off several things there. One of the ones I want to go back to was KFS, Kyocera Fleet Services. That's one that I have a particular affinity for. And for our partners, if you are not currently utilizing KFS, I'd encourage you to reach out to your regional technical manager or your Kyocera system engineer. KFS is really an extension of your service department. So it's important that you're taking advantage of that. And if you're not, please reach out to one of those folks so you can learn more about that. But I'm kind of off on a rabbit trail, I know. I'll bring it back to the MA6000ifx series. So tell me more, Adam.
Thank you for going down that rabbit trail. Overall, when we highlight the importance of Mobile Print and MyPanel, it's important to note that these are compatible with both Android and iOS devices. On top of that, the beauty of Kyocera Cloud Print and Scan, as well as Kyocera Fleet Services, allows you to limit administrative and burdensome tasks and help automate them.
Anytime we can streamline those things, I think it's a benefit to our end users.
So we've talked about connectivity with our optional Wi-Fi capabilities, as well as integration with our optional solutions that we can partner with these MFPs, which allows really anybody to work from anywhere they want. But at the end of the day, Robbie, is that really safe?
It depends. It depends on how you have your devices configured, whether or not there's a security vulnerability or a security risk there.
Which is a key reason why we prioritize security on this particular series. And today we have a special treat because Mark DeSarno, who is the Director of Security and Compliance Engineering.
Adam.
Yes, Robbie.
We're getting ready to go into the security segment.
Right.
I know you wanted to practice that before we actually start it.
Yep.
Kind of left my notes at home in South Carolina on my my MFP there.
Robbie, this is literally the most important
I'm
part of
aware.
the show.
I am aware. Hang on, I got it. I printed them with KCPS. We've got KCPS on this device. Why don't I do a quick mobile print demo? We'll show KCPS. Let's take a break. We'll reconvene. Then we'll get started with that.
I like that a lot.
All right. So for this demonstration, I'm going to launch the Kyocera mobile print app, our complementary application for both iOS and Android. When I scroll down, there's an option for badge authentication. So if you're in an environment where folks don't have ID cards or proximity badges specifically that they're using to unlock the door or open the parking garage, their mobile device can become an authentication source for them. So on this device earlier, I was mentioning on this side of the panel how we've removed the numeric keypad. Over in this segment, you have the ability to embed a card reader. The fine folks over at Elitech loaned us a Bluetooth card reader for the demonstration today. You'll see KCPS, Kyocera Cloud Print and Scan, currently has this device locked. So I'm going to utilize my phone. Oops, I forgot to touch the badge authentication option. And what you should hear is a beep. There we go. The device unlocks. I'm going to launch the Cloud Print and Scan application. I can choose which function I want, either a scanning function back to OneDrive because that's what I use. In this case, I'm selecting Print and Scan because I need my notes. I'm going to choose the MA6000 launch notes, press the print icon. I'm not going to make any of the print setting changes. Now I'm going to touch the print icon. The job's going to come down from the cloud, be released at this device for me. That way Adam and I can carry on with our conversation with Mark DeSarno. So there we go. Yep. All right, Adam, I'm ready for you, man. Come on back in.
With security being front and center, we have our special guest, Mark DeSarno, here to talk about some of the enhanced features offered on the ECOSYS MA6000ifx series. So Mark, I think a lot of people wonder how multifunction print devices can be a security risk. Usually we think of hackers targeting computers or web pages. What makes them want to target devices like our MFPs?
Well, potential areas of vulnerability on an MFP device can be the fax interface, which uses an analog card, an analog phone line. The NIC card, which is a network interface that also communicates internally or externally on the network. Authentication, which can allow, if not available, users to be able to send sensitive material outside of the enterprise. And last would be the data that's stored on the device itself should be encrypted, if not, could be extracted and utilized in nefarious ways.
Wow, Mark, that's a lot of key areas. So Robbie, do you have any examples from the field?
I do. There was an example when I was working out in the field. A Department of Social Services actually contacted me and said, we had a threat print out on our device. I won't say specifically what it was, but it was a pretty serious threat. We got to investigating it, and they were actually trying to enable their remote users to print from home, but in doing so, they had exposed their device to the public internet entirely. So not only could their users print, anyone in the world literally could print to their device.
Wow.
So we kind of had to help coach them on how to mitigate that, which ties back to earlier we were talking about security and vulnerability. Well, maybe, maybe not, depending on how you have devices configured.
Good thing you were there to coach them. So now let's dig into the details a little bit. To start, all the devices in this series feature FIPS 140-3. So Mark, what does the certification actually mean?
FIPS stands for Federal Information Processing Standard. FIPS is the highest level security certification the U.S. government issues. These Kyocera devices have FIPS 140-3 certification, which is the latest certification provided, available by the U.S. government.
Awesome.
Well, Mark, I got a question there. I heard federal, I heard U.S. government. I'm assuming this is something you maybe see in those types of bids or those types of opportunities, right?
Correct. The federal government does require in most bid FIPS certification or compliance, but commercial industry and enterprise and even small business now have requested FIPS certification to ensure that their devices do meet the same level security as government agencies.
You answered my next question. That was going to be, our down the street opportunities that are not necessarily federal can still benefit from this.
Correct.
Awesome.
So another way that we protect our devices is with TLS version 1.3. Now, Robbie, I think you have a really good example to share.
I'll try and give my amateur answer, and then I'm going to defer to the expert we have. Transport layer security, TLS. That just means let's say a non-federal government standard, this is a common criteria that the average IT person may ask about. It means between point A and point B, whether that's a laptop, an MFP, or a copier, and whatever it's trying to communicate with, you are using the latest common encryption method for communication, so that it makes it more difficult for a hacker to intercept and potentially interpret that communication. Mark, anything else you'd add to that?
It's very beneficial with cloud communication and ensuring encryption.
Okay, so services like Google and Microsoft, very common that our interface or our devices interface with those platforms.
Correct.
Okay.
So guys, we covered FIPS 140-3. We covered TLS version 1.3. I know we have an incredibly simple way to help our technicians configure security settings prior to deploying them in a customer environment. Security quick setup. Mark, what does this actually look like?
This device does offer security quick setup, which enables a technician to select 1 through 3 levels of security depending on the office environment. What this does ensure is that these settings are set correctly concerning ports, concerning protocols, and other types of communication and functionality on the MFP device.
Ports, protocols, communication. Robbie?
Adam, while Mark was saying that, it made me realize this was something from the Evolution series. We were speaking earlier about how this new MA6000ifx series is very similar to its big brother. So that's another one of those carryovers that we have with the security quick setup, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Correct.
Another thing, Mark, when we were talking about that, I know you said level 1 through 3, and you said protocols and ports. Like, how many settings are there that are affected by the security quick setup options?
Over 50 settings are impacted.
Okay. So if a technician needed to know like level 3, option 50, is there a reference guide or table or something that could help them?
Yes, the user's manual, operation manual has that information clearly.
Okay, Cool.
So Mark, I know Robbie mentioned about having our security features from the A3 platform migrating to the A4 platform. What are some key features that you can share with us today?
Yes, the new A4 devices do reflect on the same security levels as the A3 devices. Some of the examples are the secure boot, runtime checks, end-of-life sanitization. Optional are the TPM chipset and also the SSD that also includes the data security override.
Now, Mark, I want to jump in there real quick. You were saying optional. I want to make sure the viewers at home understand, the A3 devices pretty much come with all this out of the box. When you order it, it's all there. But on the A4 devices, where they're capable, we mentioned high pass capable earlier today, where they're capable of this, there are sometimes maybe an option, an accessory, or license they have to purchase to enable some of these components or features.
That is correct. The TPM has a UG50 option, and the SSD hard drive is optional. That does include the data security override.
So it helps keep the cost of the device lower for these maybe entry-level placements, but then when you need that additional security, you can purchase those components for it.
Correct.
Okay.
So as you can see, we take security very seriously. Since this is just the tip of the iceberg, where can our customers go to learn more about these security capabilities?
Our dealers and our customers can acquire the white papers, and management at the dealership has the ability to access the technical product bulletin 1, which is a very, very strong resource for all this information.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining our security talk today, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's recap. When it comes to productivity, we have an enhanced product design with our 7-inch color touchscreen that's simple, intuitive, and efficient. We've also expanded our memory options, going from what was a standard 1 gigabyte to 1.5 gigabyte standard, and what was a maximum of 3 gigs all the way up to 3.5 gigabyte max. But on top of that, we also offer optional connectivity features with our IB38 and IB37. When it comes to security, we're pleased to offer K-level security that's fully integrated with this device and offer FIPS 140-3 certification, which is the highest level of certification authorized by the US government. And it's great too because there's expandable options to help strengthen that total security package. And when it comes to integration, there's different ways of integrating firmware as well as high-pass applications that tie directly into these MFPs.
Before we go, we should also mention the Conoce warranty. 36-month bumper-to-bumper warranty, same as the predecessor series, continues with this one, helps keep the service costs of these devices low for our partners, helps ensure profitability, which is important to all of us.
Which truly differentiates ourselves from the competition.
Adam, we've gone through a lot of highlights today. Maybe you could take just a few minutes and give us that summary, the quick takeaways, just so everyone has that as the differentiators.
I think I have just what you're looking for. Let's take a closer look at some of the key similarities and differences between the MA6000ifx series and its predecessor, the M3860 IDN series. But don't worry about missing something. I'll be taking some pauses as I go through so you can take notes if you wish. First, let's talk similarities. Like its predecessor, the MA6000ifx series contains 4 black and white printers, 1 3-in-1 MFP, and 3 4-in-1 MFPs. The standard paper capacity for these devices remains 600 sheets with a maximum capacity of 2,600 sheets. The 200K maintenance kits will carry over from the M3860 IDN series, and mobile print options remain the same. Kyocera Mobile Print, MyPanel, Apple AirPrint, Mopria, and Wi-Fi Direct. As for differences, top of the list is security. K-level security enhancements like TLS version 1.3 provide a similar level of protection to our Evolution series of MFPs. Additional options like our solid-state drive and UG50 trusted platform module offer even more flexibility when it comes to data protection. There are 3 new toner kits and 2 new maintenance kits. Lastly, these devices come with an expanded memory capacity, 1.5 gigabyte standard, which can be expanded to a maximum of 3.5 gigabytes. Now, are you ready for Robbie in an elevator? Well, here we go.
The ECOSYS MA6000ifx series is built to excel in hybrid work environments. With enhanced capabilities and security features, the 4 black and white MFPs ensure that you are productive and protected no matter where you work. High-pass integration with print management solutions will save additional time and money by automating maintenance and job tracking. This concludes the product show for the ECOSYS MA6000ifx series. Thank you for your time and for sharing your questions with us.
Want to learn more? Head on over to the Learning Center. An online training course is available to provide more details about these products.
And we haven't forgotten about your technical staff. Any technicians new to these models will need to take the updated technical course and any prerequisites.
As always, marketing materials for these products are available on My Kia Sarah in the Download Center or on the product page.
And if you have any further questions, please contact your local area sales manager.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us.
We'll see you next time.
That's a wrap.
Good to see you, Robbie.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me up.
Have a safe flight home, okay?
Yeah, I'm hoping it's the early one. See you next time.
Take care. Whew, what a day. Wait a minute. You're still here, but the show's over. It's time to get back to work. Huh?